Remember, Revelations is written by John on the Isle of Patmos in the Aegean Sea. It's a letter addressing the seven churches of Asia, describing a prophetic vision. At this point in the chapter, we are in the midpoint of the 7 years. However, we should note that the 24 elders who are worshiping God are speaking as if everything was accomplished. John hears the seventh trumpet sounds, and John hears great voices in heaven announcing that the kingdoms have become the kingdoms of Christ, and that from this point on, Christ shall reign forever and ever. In contrast to previous instances where a single voice makes an announcement, here there is a great symphony of voices chanting the triumph of Christ. Now, John's vision here isn't something new. The fact that earthly rule will pass into God's hands is frequently mentioned in the Old Testament prophecies. In John's vision, Christ is declared to reign forever and ever. Never again will earth be under the control or dominion of man. The 24 elders who here fall down and worship God have previously appeared in the book of Revelation. In fact, 7 times. Here they give thanks to God as the Eternal One because he has manifested himself and his power and assumed authority over all the earth. The events for which they give thanks are the fulfillment of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, the 9th verse, where Christ, the anointed one of God, reigns supreme over the earth. God's power here is demonstrated in the sense of his authority as well as his sense of ability to accomplish his will. For modern Christians, this should bring us comfort, for it shows that we serve an awesome God who will deliver on his promises. In verse 18, John comprehensively writes about the main features in the transition from the kingdom of earth to the kingdom of God. He begins with the fact that the nations are angry at this time when the wrath of God comes. Nations not getting along, well, that's par for the course. But it does show us that while the wrath of men is impotent in the eternal scheme of things, the wrath of God is omnipotent in every scheme of things. The wrath of men is wicked, and the wrath of God is holy. As modern Christians, we sometimes try to separate the Old Testament from the New Testament, not joining them together. But here we see John linking the two. That which he prophesies in Revelation 6, verses 16 and 17, is the same thing that was prophesied in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, 4th verse, and here in his vision is being fulfilled. Reading the 18th chapter, it's not clear whether the text of the verse is a continuation of the thanksgiving of the 24 elders or a prophetic observation made by John. In either case, other important events relevant to the judgment of God are being mentioned. The dead are judged at this time. Reading this in context, it seems to focus more on the resurrection of the righteous dead rather than the wicked dead who will not rise until after the millennium. John speaks here of the rewards given to the prophets who are servants of God, to saints in general, and to those who fear the name of the Lord, whether small or great. Then the time comes when God destroys those who destroyed the earth. There is a temple in heaven. The temple on earth is a mere model of that temple, and John sees the Ark of the Covenant in this vision. In the Bible, we last saw the Ark of the Covenant in the Holy of Holies in Solomon's temple. But then the Babylonians, led by Nebuchadnezzar, conquered Jerusalem. The valuables in the temple were taken, and we never heard of the Ark again. The Ark of the Covenant, which had a lid that was called the mercy seat, was an earthly model of the throne of God. And of course, in the heavenly temple, there is the true throne of God. But now the ark appears in heaven along with the throne of God. In his vision, John looks up and sees the opening of the temple in heaven. There, accompanying that glance, was lightning and voices and thunder, apparently on earth, as well as earthquakes and great hail. The plain implication is that now God is going to deal in summary judgment with the earth. That's the lesson for this week. Have a great week. Bye.